Etepu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, haru nefer. This is Kasakma Keparu with another video for you. And in this video, we're going to take a look at who is the Egyptian god Ausar or Osiris. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. And if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live or upload recorded videos. Also, you can download some free ebooks that go more into my teachings and expand on the different gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt. Just click the links below. You can download them and start reading them today. And finally, consider becoming a Patreon supporter. You can do so for as little as $1 all the way up to $20 per month. You can cancel at any time. And you'll get exclusive access to instructional videos on how to create a magical amulet or statue, how to perform a ritual, how to invoke spirits, and so on. So it's really good teachings. So let's go into this and talk about who is the Egyptian god Ausar, or Osiris as the Greeks called him. This deity is one of the most important deities of history, or of even the ancient Kemetic people, as it expands even more and goes into other cultures. When you are reading the Bible and you are a Christian and a follower of Jesus Christ, you should know that the story of Jesus is a plagiarized version of Ausar. And this comes directly out of the Assyrian drama, or the story of Ausar and Set and their holy trinity. And you will find many parallels in the story of Ausar and Set with the Bible, the story of Mary and Jesus. So, in fact, his wife, Isis, or Set, had an immaculate conception and gave birth to Haru, which is baby Jesus. So let's read a little bit about Ausar, and then I will go into a deep dive, expansive talk about it. And I could write volumes on this one deity or talk for hours on him because he is of that much importance. Let's see what it says here. Osiris was the god of the dead and vegetation. He is also called in various names and spellings such as Ausar, Ausar, and usually referred as god of the afterlife. Osiris is one of the oldest gods of all the Egyptian gods. He is just not the ruler of the underworld, but also the god of resurrection into eternal life, protector, inundation, and vegetation. Osiris' appearance portrayed a man wearing a tall crown, white crown with red feathers at both sides of the crown, and his body wrapped in a white mummy wrappings. His skin is green or black in color, symbolizes resurrection and fertility, flooding of the Nile River. He holds the crook and flail, which signifies divine authority. He was represented as a mummified king. All right. According to the myth, Osiris is the son of Nut, sky goddess, and Geb, earth god, brother of Set and Nephis. He is also the brother and husband of Isis and the father of Horus and Anubis. He was the king of Egypt until he was murdered by his jealous brother Set. Osiris was resurrected and made to live again, but he could no longer dwell in the land of the living. He then became the lord of the dead in the underworld. His death was avenged by his son Horus, who defeated Seth and cast him out into the desert. Osiris was the most widely worshipped god throughout Egypt, and his cult temple was built at Abydos. Throughout Egyptian history, there were a lot of prayers. One prayers was done for Osiris, hopes to get his blessings in entering the afterlife. There are several festivals during the year were held in Egypt in celebration of Osiris. Now, I've mentioned before in talking about the Egyptian gods that the stories you'll read are not just these superficial stories of things that happened and transpired. There is a depth and breadth to what's going on here because the Egyptians love puns. They love stories within stories within stories. So there is really a wealth of knowledge that you can glean from this. There's so much going on in terms of Osiris' interaction with Osiris. Osiris' interaction with Isis, his interaction with Set and Horus. The Egyptian people were so masterful in the way they crafted stories, and that their stories were based on astrotheology, understanding of the solar system and the stars. So you're just not reading something that is about a religious or mythical figure. You're reading principles that govern the universe and also govern your life. So when you read the Osirian drama and you read how Osir and Isis gave birth to Heru, and Heru went on to avenge his father's death and conquer and defeat Set and ascended to the throne in Egypt, there is a lot going on there that because we're trained in a Western left brain society, are not privy to, because you're not trained to look beneath the surface and to see cosmology or relationship thinking, which is a right brain tendency. You're thinking left brain, which tends to see things black and white, superficial, surface. So one of the things that we have to understand is that the Egyptian people codified the idea of the spirit, or let's say consciousness of who you truly are as Osir, because God needed experience. In order for God to have experience, God placed his consciousness within you, in the depths of who you are, okay? Because the body is a shell. It's a casing for consciousness, who you are. This was symbolized by Osir. Hence is why we call Osir the indwelling intelligence, or the God that exists in the underworld. And the underworld is an analogy for the consciousness existing inside of you, or deep within the recesses of the subconscious mind, is where you'll find your true self. And when you, as what Heru did, ascended to the throne by defeating Set, you then resurrect your true self. And who is your true self? It's Osir. How do you resurrect Osir? As in Jesus, the resurrection. You resurrect Osir by defeating the animal spirit, Set, the instincts within you. And when you do that, Osir rises. He's resurrected. So you can see these analogies and how these things relate. And the Egyptians also had a very good understanding of the brain, the neocortex, the mammalian brain, the reptilian brain. They knew that in order for us to become divine beings and to realize our divinity, we had to rise above the mammalian and reptilian brain, to rise up, to resurrect to the neocortex. And that was the story of Heru, as in Joseph Campbell's story of the hero's journey. So these things tie into one another and give us profound information on the makeup of who we are and how the universe works. You see, when the sun rises in the east, the sun rises, that is God, the sun rising, resurrecting from the dead. Because when the sun sets every day, every night, it goes into the underworld. But the sun resurrects the next day. It rises. This hence is why we got the story of Jesus and the resurrection. So all of this comes out of the mythology that the ancient Kemetic people or Egyptian people put together. And you'll see that Osir is mummified. This is because in order for you to realize your divinity, you must be impartial. You must not allow your emotional impulses to control you. You must be like the mummy. Hence is why Osir is known as the judge in the underworld, because only someone who is moved beyond the influence of emotions can be a true judge of your character and judge of who you are, because they cannot be swayed by emotional arguments or attachments. Because when you are detached, you become impartial. This is why Osir is a great judge. And the mouthpiece of Osir is Tehuti, or Thoth, god of wisdom. And we can talk about him in another video. But what I want you to understand, and if you look at the crown of Osir, which is the crown of Lower and Upper Egypt, that he united Lower and Upper Egypt together, which also is analogous to uniting the left and right hemispheres of the brain to make you whole. Because when you're functioning out of one part of the brain, you're polarized in left brain or right brain thinking, you're not whole. And therefore, you cannot realize your divinity. So, again, there is more I can go into, but it would take so much time. Wallace Budge, you can read some of his books, and he talks about Ausar or Osiris in his books. But this is a prolific, very important deity that you must study, because this deity is who you truly are. It is the realization of yourself, hence why you must resurrect Ausar within you in order for you to be God-man and God-woman. This is Kasank Ma'at Keperu, son of Ma'at and Tahuti. My aunt is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next video, Amun Ra.